Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So today I'm here with another Stoicheia deck profile, which is kind of also a budget deck. And our key, our star, is Iron Anchor Resman Dragon. So it is another common from DBTO2, and which creates us another way of playing Stoicheia. So we do have Saga, we do have Skullfisher Dragon, we do have our Magnolia, and we have this. So compared to other nations, we actually have more toys to play with, and we actually have different ways of playing things, even with the same kind of mechanics. With him, the key is we can only alchemagic with cards, all the cards with the same name. So it's different from Saga, which we mix all the cards to like bring a great effect, but now this one actually doubles your effects, but of course cost is also double. So this deck actually cost me quite a bit of time to test out. I do have like 2 builds worked on, and this is the one that I actually prefer, so I'm going to show you this one, and I will slightly tell you what the other one is, and also why I'm not going that route again. So with right line, of course we do have a key, Iron Anchor Resman Dragon, a Resentment Dragon, and then we have our Saga right chain, which is a Hush Dragon, Anchor Chain, and the Great Zero. So since we are playing alchemagic, so it's like Saga, we will play quite a bit of order cards. This is why we are still using this right line. So recycle orders, using orders to draw more cards, and try to fill your drop, because you do need to have something in drop in order to alchemagic or reborn stuff. And once you using like water cards, this card can power up, so you don't have other choice basically, because the Magnolia right line won't help you that much. And when you go to grade 2, because you won't go to Magnolia, you're kind of wasting effects. So for now, that's the only options we have, but still good. But that also means that this engine is actually quite strong, that we do have multiple builds. You saw my Saga, you saw my Skullfisher Dragon, and I'm also using this right line, so it's just great. And let's go into the main deck. First, we do have 3 more Resentment Dragon, because we want to personalize, we want soul. Nothing too much to say. And then 2 of the Hydro Dragon help us to have a chance to pick up the Resentment Dragon so that we can personalize. And also it kind of increasing the grade 3 targets that you can reborn, because this deck actually use some orders that helps you to do that. And quickly entering grade 2s, which we have 4 Hadrina to reduce soul blast cost and to fill up your drop so that you can alchemagic easier. Fleet Eater, because you can do card restrictions. We don't have multiple attacks because we are playing order cards, kind of like Saga build, so we only have 3 attacks. And to make every single attack matters, is here. And since it's Soul Blast, you can Soul Blast your Hush Dragon, your Anchor Chain, and even when you're personalize, you can Soul Blast your Resentment Dragon so that your Hydro Dragon can pick them up. There's a lot of things you can do. But do note that when you use this skill, you have to alchemagic. So if you only play 1 order card for the turn and not alchemagic it, then you can't use the skill. Yeah. Then we quickly go to grade 1s. 3 Rogue Hunter and 2 of this Fairy of Tragic Love, maybe Belated Love. I think the name changed, but yeah, it's now Fairy of Tragic Love. And then 4 PGs. So the Tragic Love that you can actually recycle orders so you can use them again, because you always have the same name, so once gone you pick that back up, and one is in a drop, so you can keep doing it again and again, which helps you to actually keep the flow going, and also apply the on hit pressure to opponents to at least block. And here costing you 2 cards. And even if you do want to hit, you alchemagic and use a skill, force your opponents to drop quite a bit of cards, or make them to give up to take the hit so that you can pick up your orders. Rogue Hunter, help you -1 CB cost is great, but don't actually rely on that much, because it's not like Solgar. You do need to play him, find a way to play him before you're playing order. But most of the time, you usually bring him back up with order. So this is a little bit of issue I have with this build, that I need to actually reborn my Hunter, but not being able to use him to actually reduce kind of last cost, but sometimes I can. So it's up to you. You want to keep it in the hand to use it to save kind of last cost, or you don't mind to just drop him and reborn to make him a 13k attacker or booster, because the 5k plus is mainly the reason I'm using him. So easy, so stable, and then if I can minus my counter last cost, of course. And that's basically all the units except triggers. But now let's go over the order cards. So first, I'm running 4 of the regurgitation from the underworld. So this is retiring power, and this is also helps you reborn stuff. And since you are actually alchemagicking, so you can maximum calling 4 units and retire 2 units. Also, do note that when you facing decks like Bastion, of course you can reborn these guys, but you can also kill one of your 2 or maybe 1 to actually bring 2 back. So it's quite easy to help you rebuild the field. And even if you don't have any minus cost, alchemagic with these 2 is only costing you counter last 2 and soul last 2, which is the reason why I'm actually using this order. And then 2 of the Nectar of Sensation. This is kind of a finisher for you, because with this order, when you play 2 of this, you usually aiming for 15 drops, so you can give 2 units 15k plus and 1 crit plus, so making 2 sides to be at least healing 2 damage. And then your Vanguard will be probably your weaker one, but your opponents will also need to guard that if they're on 4, because they don't know if you're going to pull a crit that can finish them off. And then they need to also think of guarding the other 2, which you also have the Fleet Eater here to do some card restrictions, forcing them to drop more hands. Since this is kind of a budget build, so you do want to have something that forcing your opponents to drop a lot of stuff, so that you won't get into like a very disadvantaged situation that you can't block, you can't take away the hands, and then you're just stuck there. But this is something that helps you. And 4 of the Wild Intelligence. Because this card only costs me counterblast, and I actually do have ways to reduce it, even though that doesn't always happen. And this card also creates you drops, so also helps you to build up for your Nectar of Sensation. Even though you can't call 2 with 1 order, because you are not Magnolia, but using 2 only color last 2, and then you can drop 6 cards and call 2 back. Quite simple. And that's the end of the order. So you can see I'm actually not using Acne, and I did see builds using like 4 Acne and then rely on Hadrina to actually reduce the soul blast cost, and then play 2 of it, and then drop a total of 8 cards, and then call 4 back, and then give them 5k plus power, and then 5k to the 2 and 5k to the existing one, to like building a very high attack lines and build up your board. But I really tried, and 90% of my matches, when I have 2 acne ready, I don't have Hadrina. When I have Hadrina, I don't have acne. That just happened. So when this case happens, you basically just stuck there. You can't do anything. Because think about this. We using this right line, right? So we do have, like, first we ride, and then we actually soul blast 1. So we don't have soul. When we go to grade 2, we have 1 soul. When we get into grade 3, we have 1 soul. That's all. And you only have 2 souls. Unless you pull a Hadrina, you won't be able to pull off 2 acne because you need to soul blast 4. And once they stays there and you can't find your Hadrina, and then you just use like other cards to keep trying to dig, and maybe even use these ones or use other cards to trying to drop stuff, and then you still can't find your Hadrina, you're really going to struggle. So I have been playtesting it for so long, using like condensation, using acne, but those soul blast costs really like makes me mad. So I switched to counterblast cost, which is easier, and this only a total of 2 souls. And what good about these orders is that even if you just play them without alchemagic, they're totally fine. Even acne is that, but you still would have like stuck in that situation. But counterblast cost you always will have, because as long as you're willing to take 2 damage, you have the counterblast cost, and probably these are the only ones that cost you counterblast and nothing else. So you can just fully use your counterblast for all cards, which I think is quite easy. And you even allow yourself to use your wild intelligence when you in grade 1, grade 2 turn to pull something up, which helps you to early rush as well. So that's the reason I switched into these orders, and I'm happy with it. And also, even though we actually drop cards every single turn for a ride deck, but that doesn't mean we always have that much orders to drop, even though we can pick some up, but you do want to save some order in hand. So, and also, since these actually reborn your stuff, you do want to like drop some units down to drop so that you can revive them, which means you can drop them and then just simply use a wild intelligence before you get into grade 3, and then the next turn you can just play another one and alchemagic with another wild intelligence that you already played. So it's not kind of wasted, because if you just put the order cards in drop, you kind of wasted the effects, because you don't actually use it, you drop it. For the Sorger, it's easier because we can choose our choices and just find our orders like sequence to play the alchemagic, but this one is only doubling effect. So no matter what, even though you like need to drop one or maybe use one in order to double the effects, I think that's fine. Yeah, and there are also chances that you are like kind of stuck in cost. That happens, but at least as long as you have 1 counterblast and maybe 1 extra soul, you can use at least one of these orders. And once you get there, at least you can keep the deck running, because your Resentment Dragon is basically a 13k, only allows you to alchemagic, and then that's it. So you do need to rely on orders, you do need to rely on your units to function. And for example, Fleet Eater requires you to alchemagic in order to do guard restrictions. So if you can't alchemagic, this got no skills, your Vanguard got no skills, and you just stuck there like getting 13, maybe 13, 10, something. That's not going to be fun. And even when you decided to maybe like play 1 acne, and okay, I will eventually get there, and then you find no Hadrina, and then you're stuck with that Agni in hand, and then sometimes once you PG drop it, and then you draw Hadrina. That happens. Yeah, so I really did try a lot of ways to like use the Soul Blast method to play the game, to play this deck, but unfortunately I really can't take that. So I changed to Counterblast routes. I'm happy with it, and that's why I'm sharing this build instead. And so far this deck actually do win me some games, no matter even if it's Bastion, I can still at least kill a Great 3 to pull something back. I can kill my own stuff to bring something back, and I feel more comfortable to control my Counterblast. And once I get there, that's going to be massive. And also, of course, our triggers do matter, so I'm going to go through them right now because I do spend quite a bit of time to talk about the orders. Now, triggers, the Stoicheia one, so that we do have a lot of effects. Since our Vanguard is basically a vanilla, we do want to do a little bit more pushing, and then being able to heal ourselves. That's great, but again, don't rely on this too much because you do drop a lot of cards, and once you drop that, that's it. And to push further, I am running 6 crits, 5 fronts, and 4 heals. So you can see I'm not running draws. At first I did, but it doesn't help. Like, the Agni and Hadrina cases always happen, and even if I use draw, it can't help. So I switched to Counterblast base, and I switched to like kind of rushing, damage pushing, and then with the new front triggers to increase kind of defense. And from there, actually things goes a lot better. And since we don't have the Sorger order, I think it's the ESR, GDR. So we don't have GDR, we can't simply pump our units without Personalite. So we do want some front triggers to, at least when your opponent say 2 pass, when you see one front trigger, you at least have a chance to just pull another trigger. Even if it just front, even if it just heal, you can at least push through. And those 10k is still going to benefit your thermal units, because you do want to make your Fleet Eater more threatening, and draw is not going to help you this way. So this is the trigger lineup. Yeah. So it's kind of quite straightforward, I guess, because you only doubling order's effect. So as long as you know what the order does, that's all you need to actually know how to play the deck. Because most of the stuff are just like fill up the drops, to get power, pick up orders, reduce costs. That's it. Yeah, quite easy. So do give it a try. See if you like it. I can, of course, hear a lot of people will say, oh, I am actually using Hadrina and Agni build and I'm having fun. That's fine. If you actually find fun that way, feel free to use that route. But I'm showing you another route that actually works, and helping me to win games, having fun, less struggling. Because when you play a budget deck, it's quite easy to be struggle because your Vanguard won't be that that strong, or maybe like that impressive, because this card is only a common and Solver is a triple rare. So of course there will be a difference, but this making this deck actually takes me a lot more time than other builds, because I do need to think very carefully. I do need to review basically all the orders again, because it is another way to play alchemagic, and to have a clear mindset on what you want to do and how you're going to achieve. For example, nectar, how you're going to achieve this. Drop 3, Katrina, drop another 3, and then drop 3 cards for right deck, that's already 12. So quite easy to get there, and you don't have that much pressure to actually save orders, because you can simply just use one of them and then wait another one to come and then just use it. Because these ones, their cost is actually not that heavy. So so far, again, I like this build and it win me games. Yeah. So that's it for this video. As always, let me know your comments, let me know your thoughts, and we can discuss further from there. Yeah, try it out, let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.